Hi, I'm Ollie Johnson and welcome to Solent Sports News. Over to cricket now, and day 4 in Antigua is now well underway. 3 balls into today's session, Jack Leach claimed a wicket to round off the West Indies' first innings. England are now underway with their second innings, currently at 48-1. Matt Leach was bowled by Roach early on. Chelsea's ownership crisis is still the top story in football. George Harrison is live. George, what's the situation at the club?
I'm here with Dan Butcher, who is a Chelsea Foundation coach. So Dan, can you tell me how academy players would be affected by these sanctions that Roman Abramovich has had?
So the players, obviously there's a lot of uncertainty around the players. No one really knows because there's not much money in the club because it's been taken away because the owner doesn't have any. So players that don't have a long-term contract, obviously a bit worried because they can't renew their contracts. So this will affect players that perhaps have potential to progress through Chelsea. And also in terms of the foundation, it's the funding that will be cut, so we won't be able to provide as much for the grassroots game and for the players that could perhaps develop into being Chelsea Academy players.
Here's the full package back at you, the studio.
Chelsea Football Club, a club that has been sensationally rocked by the news that their Russian owner, Roman Abramovich, has had his assets frozen by the UK government, a move that hasn't just shocked the club itself, but everyone associated with the day-to-day running of the club and its community. Amidst the sanctions on the club, Chelsea fans have concerns about the future of the club, despite boss Thomas Tuchel's comments on the situation surrounding the club, saying that there's no need to panic.
We have to live in this situation. It does not make sense to worry too much because we don't have a lot of influence, not to say no influence at all. So that was the bottom line. We are allowed to focus on football and do the best to focus on football.
Chelsea's assets being frozen means that they cannot offer players new long-term contracts or buy and sell any players until May at the earliest, which has raised questions about the club's long-term future, and football finance expert Wyn Grant says that potential American buyers could be key in helping the club following the recent sanctions.
If these things go on beyond the end of the season, then I think the implications are very serious. The hope for Chelsea fans must be that it will be possible to reach an agreement on a sale approved by the government before the end of the season. Otherwise, I think it becomes much more serious.
Global sports correspondent Rob Harris shares his views on the situation regarding Chelsea Football Club.
The fact that effectively sanctions are the only lever at the government's disposal to put pressure on the Kremlin. They've had to resort to these sanctions and increasingly applying them against the oligarchs and the Russian individuals to try to put the squeeze on Vladimir Putin, to try to put the squeeze on those around him or might have influence to try to stop this war.
Only time will tell to see what the outcome of the sanctions are, but for Chelsea and the community as a whole, things are far from over.
But up until now, in the 19 years he's been there, he's never taken a penny out of the club. All he's done is put into the club. He's never asked for a penny back. And, he's done countless other things for Chelsea Football Club, for individual players, for supporters. He's done stuff for other football clubs as well.
Ryan Shepherd, Solent Sports News.
We are joined by our Spanish football expert, Jordi Capella, with this weekend's La Liga preview. Thank you, Jordi.
Ole, after kicking Paris Saint-Germain out of the Champions League, Real Madrid can be one step closer to the title this weekend. They're playing on Monday night, their first Monday night fixture this season against lowly Mallorca. But the match day starts this evening, 8 p.m. UK time, with Atletico Madrid entertaining Cádiz at the Wanda Metropolitano. Correa is finally available, important player for Atletico Madrid. He scored 11 goals this season. Important match day for the teams from Andalusia. Seville is 7 points behind Real Madrid in the table. They play Rayo Vallecano on Sunday, and Betis need to recover their place in the top 4 in the Champions League positions, playing on Sunday also against Athletic Bilbao at the Benito Villamarin. Now, Atletico Madrid and Barcelona level with 48 points. Barcelona with a game in hand, playing against Osasuna this weekend. Of course, the idea is keeping their Champions League spot, and why not trying to catch Sevilla and finish La Liga as second.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Jordi. The Ballon d'Or is set for major changes from 2022. The individual award will now be based on achievements and performances in full season rather than a calendar year. The voting will now be done by representatives of the teams in the top 100 of the FIFA rankings, freezing out minor nations as French football hopes to reduce novelty candidates and increase the range of potential winners. A replacement for Ben Strevens at Eastleigh has finally been found in the form of Lee Bradbury. Here's Max Timms with how the new coach has got on so far.
A new chapter for Eastleigh Football Club has begun, with the appointment of Lee Bradbury as first-team manager. The former Man City player will be hoping to drag the Spitfires out of 16th in the league and back up the table. Bradbury is well known locally, having played for Portsmouth and Bournemouth. Whilst in management he spent 7 years at Havant and Waterlooville, boasting a 50% win rate, and was in charge for the club's first ever promotion to the National League. The new Spitfires gaffer has highlighted his excitement about joining the club.
Yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. We've managed to sort of get to know the boys a little bit now, strengths and weaknesses, etc. But also, just realising what a good club it is. It's just confirmed what I thought it was from the outside. So, yeah, enjoyed my time so far.
The impact Bradbury has made is already clear as he took charge of his first game last Saturday, which saw the Spitfires emphatically beat Wealdstone 4-1. This marked Eastleigh's first win in 11 games to get the new manager off to a perfect start. Striker Brett Pittman has explained how things have changed at the club under the new coach.
Come in, given a bit of confidence to the lads, bit of freshness, some new ideas, bit of organisation, and obviously the first game went very well.
The Spitfires have been hard at work this week, preparing for their away trip to Altrincham on Saturday. The Manchester-located club sit on the same amount of points as Eastleigh, but the Spitfires will be heading into the clash full of confidence, with the mood all around the club on an upward trajectory.
Obviously, new managers give everyone a lift, that's the whole cliche. But on the pitch, we saw great wins, so it gave everyone a lift. But off the pitch, the reception's been amazing. There are a few doubts, obviously, from the fans with him being former Havant, but that was quickly put to bed, and everyone's been reacting really well. Got a lot of interest from the local and some national media as well. Life under the new coach has got off to a good start, but time will be the biggest tell if Bradbury can turn around the dismal form of the South Coast side. Max Timms, Solent Sports News.
The Guinness Six Nations gets back underway tonight as last year's champions Wales take on title challengers France. Despite the significance of this evening's game, the Principality Stadium will not have a sellout crowd, with an expected 60,000 supporters in the 75,000-seater stadium. In tomorrow's games, Italy welcomes Scotland as England and Ireland go head-to-head. The winner of the match at Twickenham will close the gap at the top of the table. Ireland seems to be the favourites as the tournament's top scorers. However, England centre Henry Slade believes his side will perform on the day.
I think we're quite good as a squad about concentrating on ourselves, on what we need to do, what we need to bring. Obviously, there's always a lot of outside noise, but I think we're pretty good at blocking that out really. But I do think that there is an argument to be had about being underdogs and coming through and getting the win. That's always a good feeling.
Boxing now. WBA featherweight champion Lee Wood will defend his title against Olympic bronze medalist Michael Conlan in Nottingham tomorrow night. This is Wood's first title defence since winning his belt against China's Zhu Chan last year. However, the champion will enter the ring as the underdog, with his Irish opponent coming in a 4-7 favourite. The second session of Formula 1 testing is coming to a close in Bahrain. The current fastest drivers are Carlos Sainz of Ferrari, Lance Stroll of Aston Martin and defending world champion Max Verstappen. It was a tough weekend for McLaren, suffering brake problems, losing driver Daniel Ricciardo to illness and seeing the session suspended when Lando Norris stopped just before the pit exit. The season can get underway properly next weekend. The Players' Championship got underway at the Players' Club at Sawgrass yesterday, with some of golf's best players taking part. The opening round wasn't without disruption, as play was suspended due to strong storms. Ian Poulter sprinted the last 2 holes to finish the round, scoring 1 over par, with fellow Englishman Tommy Fleetwood at the top of the leaderboard at 6 under. The world's biggest horse racing meeting starts on Tuesday when Cheltenham Festival kicks off. One jockey looking for a better festival is Nick Schofield. Jack Cross reports.
Next Tuesday marks the start of the biggest horse racing week in the world. The Cheltenham Festival will take over the Cotswolds for 4 days, where the best horses in the UK and Ireland will go head-to-head in top-quality racing. One jockey looking to build on last year's disappointment for the UK is Nick Schofield. The long-serving jockey is looking forward to what he thinks is the Olympics of his sport.
You know, it's where all the best horses, best jockeys, best trainers from the whole of United Kingdom really form together to race, and the best over 2 mile hurdles to 3 mile 2 chases. It has a bit of everything.
After a bad start to the season last year, when he suffered from a broken leg, Nick came back to have a winner at the festival with Sky Pirate.
And Sky Pirate now, Nick Schofield has taken it up as they head towards the closing stages, but here's on Two-Car and Mark Walsh to deliver a late challenge. Sky Pirate in front on Two-Car is gaining with every stride, so I just think Sky Pirate held him.
And he believes that a good festival can change the outlook of your season.
There's so much on it, you know, nowadays that it can definitely determine your season. I certainly helped benefit from it last year, winning there. So from having a bad season beforehand with breaking my leg. So yeah, it certainly helped me.
Despite the festival being dominated by the Irish in recent years, it hasn't stopped Nick having some winners, but the jockey said that all winners at the festival are special.
You know, they're hard to choose between. You know, I really enjoyed Humble because that was my first ever one, and you know, he meant a lot. So but that's nothing to say that I didn't enjoy Quilando or Sky Pirate, but they all have their reasons for being so special. So I appreciate every one of them.
The routine of a jockey isn't easy with early starts and long drives to race courses, so you might think during a week like the festival this would change. But you'd be wrong. The only difference is they have to arrive a little earlier due to the amount of press and the spectators.
Yeah, you try and keep it very much the same. There's a lot of media attention leading up to it, but you try and, you know, do what you do on a day in, day out basis.
Despite the festival being one of the only times racing reaches both the front and back pages, Nick reiterated that you have to remain calm and remember that you're just doing your day-to-day job.
You're still doing what you do on a daily basis, so you obviously have that bit of nerves because there's more pressure lean into it, and you just want to do right for your connections, your owner and your trainer and your horse. So you obviously just, you know, but that's not to say you do that on an everyday basis. So you got to treat it like you do every day and try not to let the whole atmosphere get to you.
Good luck to all runners and riders, especially Nick, who hopefully can find a winning ride at this year's festival. Jack Cross, Solent Sports News.
Team GB have earned a Paralympic bronze medal in Beijing this morning, as Ollie Hill came third in the banked slalom event. A time of just over 1 minute 10 seconds in his first run was enough for Hill to claim the medal, beating teammate Owen Pick by just 0.19 seconds. The 32-year-old has been on the GB Snowsport programme since the summer of 2020 and previously reached 4th place in January's World Championships. That's all for now. Make sure to check out solentjournalism.co.uk for more sporting news.